If you're watching on YouTube, hit subscribe. If you're listening on Spotify, tap follow.
It's free and it helps more Otome and individual novel fans discover these incredible creators.
And it keeps our candles lit, figuratively and literally.
Thanks for joining us for another story of love, loss, and mystery. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the podcast. I am Lover's Lens.
And I'm Morik. Today we're visiting a world of politics, loss, and dangerous affection. Our guest today is Monika Yosifova, the mind behind Spell Candle, which is Bottled Monster Inc.'s debut visual novel.
Monika, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
So I think it's only fair to start with your story first. Tell us, please, how did you begin making visual novels?
Well, this is my very first visual novel, but for a very long time, growing up playing games, around PC cafes, I knew that I wanted to make games. And over the last 4 years, I met the people who are capable of helping me do that in a way that is to a good standard, which is what you guys have seen through playing the Spell Candle demo.
Why did you decide exactly on visual novels? You mentioned that you play games in general, but why visual novels? What caught you there?
I've always been a reader at heart. I love reading. I'm a big book talk girly. I love the romantasy genre. It makes me happy. And before going into visual novels, I think I'd read probably the 60 most popular romantasy books that came out in the last 20 years. And knowing that I wanted to make games, I wanted to make a video game that is easy, that would teach me the processes of making a video game, of managing a team, and also help me develop an understanding of the industry and my team.
That's great. I love having conversations with people who read. Which romantic fantasy
Hopefully
book
you have
is your favorite?
a lot of those.
Yeah, true. Well, we're working with visual novel developers, so most of them they like reading, obviously.
Yeah, I'd hope so.
Tell me about your favorite book. Like, this is not a specific game question, but I'm very interested in that.
It would be difficult to say one particular book, but I definitely have a favorite author currently, which is Stephanie Garber. She wrote Once Upon a Broken Heart, as well as Caraval, which are two very fun, dreamy romantasy series about what you can do if you believe in yourself and about finding love in relatively unexpected places. And it always has a touch of magic, and it's always a case of the good side wins, kind of like Lord of the Rings, which is what I love about that book as well, even though it is a romantasy. But I tend to look for the good in what I read.
That's cute. Okay, I am noting this down. I will try this book out.
I also wanted to ask, for anyone who hasn't played the demo yet, could you give us a quick overview of Spell Candle?
Yeah, sure. Spell Candle is a 2D Otome visual novel that aims to raise awareness about mental health and the challenges that we face after losing a loved one. When you play through the game, as you navigate through it, your choices tend to shape your experience, and the in-game system will reflect your decisions, providing insights into relatively grief-related behaviors. It is a romance game, so your journey is actively supported by 4 romantic love interests, one of which is the culprit and villain of the game.
So actually one of them is actually the perpetrator of... I'm not sure if I should say it yet because it might be a bit of a spoiler for the demo, but I honestly...
It's the demo, it's fine.
Okay. But I did think that it might be a third party and they were getting framed while playing it. So I wasn't sure what to think.
You're not alone in that. Our community had that theory as well, but I don't believe anywhere in our marketing materials we've given them proof of it happening otherwise. From what I remember, everywhere we've said it's that one of them is the villain.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I guess it's because it's such a common trope in a lot of media that if it's a main character, and especially in a game like this where you get to romance them, for not to make it a romanceable option to one of the villains of the story.
Yeah, I can see that happening. For me, it provides a fun dichotomy, and it hits the enemies to lovers, how do I put this, subgenre of the romantasy genre. So people who are into that get to experience that.
Yeah, I am into that. I am one of those people, but I don't know who the enemy is, who the evil man is.
Have my
This
suspicions.
is not fair. Yeah, I have my suspicion as well.
I
but
think we
I think
have the same suspicions.
Yes, but I think
Interesting.
Monika made it this way so we can, like, this is the obvious choice. That's the guy. This is he betrayed us. That's the reason everything
Red
is
herring.
fucked. Yes, and I think this is not true. I think there's something else that we're missing out, but we will see in the full release. Now we can't see anything, honestly. I wanted to ask you for this mental health awareness topic. You mentioned we don't have that much in the demo about the mental health awareness. Are you planning to integrate it in the full game, like a topic that reoccurs?
We do have quite a bit of it in the demo, actually. Well, roughly 20, 30 maybe minutes, depending on how quickly you read through everything, or if you're a streamer and you have to verbalize every single thing you read. You get to experience a brief panic attack in the demo itself during the scene where you dance with the characters. And then you have a discussion right before Mortis' introductory CG, where you discuss some of the darkest moments of your life.
Yeah,
that specific choice, that specific choice is going to shape a lot of the other choices that you're going to get in the game. Like, that is a very specific branching storyline choice on what mental health grief issue that you want to tackle.
Yeah, okay. Now it makes sense for me. So it's basically choose your trauma moment.
Yeah.
I love it. I love that you have a bigger mission in this.
Yeah, it's very interesting because we spoke with a bunch of creators after they played through our demo, who told us that while this is often touched upon in visual novel genres, like the heroine or hero having a trauma, it's usually mentioned for like 2% of the story, maybe 20 minutes of the whole 11-hour gameplay. And then you got to get back to the love and the romance and, the hot men or women, depending what kind of game you're playing. Whereas here we're aiming to make it like 30% of the game experience. And it is relatively, I wouldn't call it groundbreaking, but it definitely breaks the traditional visual novel romance game stigma of it all being about the guys. No, it's about you and your experience, and the guys are the characters that help your experience. That's kind of what we're aiming to do.
True, like the main character doesn't feel soulless. That's what I'm going to say.
Thank you.
Like, it feels like they come with a story, with a background. It's not like, hello, I am in love with everyone. Who should I choose? It doesn't work this way.
The blank slate
we
protagonist.
Yeah.
What you're talking about.
So every time we mention mental health topics in Otome games, I must mention a game that stayed with me. Like, we had the creator in this podcast as well. I think it was in season 2. The game is called Mind.
Oh, yeah,
It's a short. Yeah, it's a short visual novel, and I really recommend it to you. You can play it.
Yeah, let me take a look.
It's a game that
You're dating social anxiety.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
beautiful.
social anxiety is actually a love interest, as the sole love interest in the game. And the whole communication is so real, man. You have no idea. It's very creepy. Like, I am a person with anxiety, and when I played this game, I felt awful, really.
Love.
So you should try it. I think it could inspire you in some way.
Absolutely. This looks fascinating. Mind.
And also, it has pretty art. I love it.
Yeah,
So,
it looks really nice.
Yeah. We already started talking about Spell Candle in detail, but I wanted to say that the game starts not with a fairy tale, but it's more like a political mission. And I wanted to ask you, what actually inspired that exact story?
I think since we're all fans of fantasy, you will understand me very well when I say I'm a dungeon master.
Same.
And Yes. And when I write a story, I enjoy building a whole world. The world where Spell Candle takes place was one which appeared to me, if you will. You know what inspiration's like. The gods give it to you and the gods take it from you. It appeared to me after I had a small mental health episode in high school, and once I was over it in university and I had clarity about it, I was like, wow, maybe we should tell more stories about mental health and spread awareness about it. And I wanted to build a whole world where in different countries and different nations, people deal with different mental health issues as their main villains or celebrations, or they're just a main topic in some way, shape, or form that I can make video games around that. In this case, the main one that we tackle is grief, as you guys know. And I find that to be both a very individual and a very universal experience at the same time.
Yes, everyone has to face it eventually, if you have family especially.
Morik, everyone have family. You can't be
No,
without family, you know.
There are people that aren't that lucky.
Yeah, okay. This sounded heartless. I'm sorry.
No,
It
no
was
worries.
not my point. I have a friend. She have like very, very strong dad issues. Like her dad used to be a psychopath, and like it's not a pretty story.
Yeah.
She's like old now. Like I don't mean old. She's an adult, but she never had the chance to actually process this whole trauma. And her father died a couple of years ago. And even though he was the bad guy in her story, she had to learn how to grieve, even in that
Yeah.
situation. And that set her free from the trauma. It was very interesting process that I observed there. It's very beautiful, and it's very nice that you want to help people process grief through a game. Like I love this. Very nice.
My congratulations to your friend for managing to put herself through that experience and rise out of it stronger.
Well, there are people that helped, and in other cases, I guess your game will help other people process their emotions. It's a great cause. It is amazing.
Thank
you for doing beautiful stuff. And I really, honestly, in the demo, I couldn't pay that much attention to the mental health part because I was like distracted.
Respect.
But I believe that in the full game, when you said that you're planning, like, I guess it's gonna be like a snowball effect. Yeah. So
Yeah.
the further you get into the story, the further the mental health topic will be more discussed with the characters, probably, or in the inner monologue of the main character, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you said that this story is specifically inspired by grief, and that the world building of the world is like different nations facing different traumas. So I'm guessing that the Dread Festival is supposed to represent facing that grief head onwards and processing it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a 7-day festival where you go through the 7 stages of grief through different activities that you take part in alongside the love interest of your choice.
Yeah, I knew that there's like something connected with the stages of grief. Maybe I missed it if it was in the demo itself, but I felt like there's this song 6 Degrees of Separation. I don't know if you know. It's like it's a little bit of a cringe song, but it has the lyrics about the whole stages of grieving and separating with someone. I always loved it because it's, at first the anger, then comes the apathy, and maybe not in that order specifically, but you have to go through everything before you're healed.
Yeah.
And we have like a special day for that. How nice is this?
It's very nice, I agree.
So we talked about the world building and what inspired the setting, but let's talk about the main mystery. There's a crime, a missing god, and the question of who to trust among the leaders. How did you balance those detective and political elements with romance?
I very much knew that those were the 3 topics we wanted to go into when we started writing the game and we started working on the game. And we kind of developed 3 systems. An affection system, which you gain points at depending on your conversations and choices within the game that relate to a specific love interest. A mystery system, which is directly related to your ability to obtain clues through conversations with the characters and with other NPCs around the game, which is directly related to your journal, which I don't know if you guys have seen, but I love our journal. It's beautiful. And then the political system, which directly reflects your relationship with your characters based on, once again, the verbal choices that you make. And there is a game over.
So there is a bad ending.
There is a bad ending, and there's definitely different ways to get the bad ending.
So is choosing the perpetrator of the crime necessarily going to result in a bad ending, or is it just potentially have that chance depending on your other choices?
The second. You will not automatically lose the game because you've chosen to romance the villain.
And I'm also curious about the clue system. Do you have to make the connections yourself? Like, you have to think about what you've asked them, what they've told you, and you yourself have to come to a conclusion based on what you've learned?
You can assume stuff, but for the most part, let's say we have 3 different conversations between day 1, 2, and 3 from different characters where you can obtain piece of information A that directly reflects and connects to quest 1. If you miss all 3, then you're probably going to get the bad ending.
I see.
Yeah. So it's important for you to follow through on the quests that you find to be important and that you believe can truly lead you to solving the crime itself. Because at the very beginning, at the end of day 1, you're going to have roughly maybe 10 quests, like 10 different lines of questioning that you could go down through. And not all of them are going to lead to the villain. Some of them are just going to be dead ends. That's just what being a detective is like.
Yeah. It was especially frustrating asking Aqua about things because he was so avoiding the questions, I guess.
Slippery, like water.
Slippery like a fish.
Wet. Yeah, this guy. I don't know. I'm gonna spoil it a little bit for the listeners, but it's the demo, so I am allowed.
Of course.
So for me, it was such a shock when I realized that Terra and Aqua spent the night together. What is that? Why?
Oh.
What happened? Like, I got this piece of information out of Terra. Like, it was not Aqua. Aqua was like, I'm not gonna tell you. I did some my stuff. Like, bye. Yeah. Continue, please.
I was going to say, I absolutely love that we reached to this conclusion. As a writer, I admit that sometimes characters do their own thing when you start writing them, and I am sure you've both related if you've done writing or D&D campaign-related stuff.
Yeah.
Your characters can just come alive in front of you without you having to do anything. You just get to write them. It's outside of your control at times, and for me, the mere fact that the aspect of faith and the aspect of love, who, together equal marriage, sleep together, sounds very fun.
Okay, I got shivers, honestly. I never thought about it. Your guys are very distracting, as I said. I didn't have the chance to actually delve deeper in the story because I was very distracted by these guys. Maybe think about having a worse art style. I don't know.
No, I'm forever blessed for having discovered both our artists. They are just absolute diamonds.
Like,
I love them so much.
2 artists? I thought that it's like only 1 artist. I mean, backgrounds and sprites, they're blending perfectly together.
Thank you.
It feels like the same person is working on the whole project.
Yeah.
I will, that is an amazing compliment to our environment artist, because the way we started developing the game was I knew I wanted a game for a very long time. And I was in a Devil May Cry server for role-playing, and I fucking love Devil May Cry as a franchise. And one of the owners of that server, they had a fan art channel and just posted a bunch of fan art. And I saw the art style and I was like, this is what I've been dreaming of for years and years and years. And, we became friends, and it turned out that they were actually studying game art. So it was a match made in heaven.
That's a big coincidence, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a match made in heaven. I was like, hey, do you want to make a game together? And they were like, absolutely. And I was like, okay, you just do your own thing. I will find the whole team and we will make it happen around you and your art. Just be there. Just be awesome. And I went and I found our environment. Yeah. And I found our environment artist. Our environment artist found us our programmer. I already knew our designer. I randomly met our composer at a business event, and I just managed to gather them all around this one person in order to bring out their art style and make that art as charming as possible and as enchanting as possible. And clearly, based on your feedback, it's working. So that's great.
It is. I'm not gonna lie to you. It is working. And I think that you guys did a masterpiece. And I can't believe that this is your first game.
You're so kind.
Like, maybe I say that too much lately because I have such amazing guests. And I'm like, oh, how this could be your first game? What is this? But it is very admirable. And when I'm saying admirable, I need to go back to the boys. As I said, the reason of my distraction. Let's talk about the love interest. Because Spellcandle has 4 of them. And each one is complex and has their own charm and motif. And let's start with Aqua. This suspicious guy. Aqua of Amor, the charming yet dangerous water aspect. What makes Aqua such an alluring character to write? Tell me.
Gosh, I think it's very much the exploration of love in all its forms, the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful. Because when I write these characters, I try to explore historically and through different cultures what love means. And in specific for Agua's version of love and what he represents, we're going back to ancient times. We're in Omnis, the oldest city, and my immediate thought was like, oh, ancient Greece. But in ancient Greece, they didn't have one word for amor, for love. Love has always been... I've always found, personally, that we put a lot of pressure on one word. Whereas the Greeks, they had, I believe, 7 or 8 different definitions for love.
Yeah, they have the family love, the sexual love, the love between a parent and a child. They have everything. In Greeks, they're like over the top. I love this whole country and its people and its cuisine and everything. And the language, it sounds like French to my ears. But still, they're a little bit over the top. Honestly.
I love them. We actually have a webtoon where our first one that we uploaded is about Agua and the meanings of love. It's very beautiful. You guys can check it out if you want to.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, his inspiration was from all of that. So he is going to make you feel, as a player, a lot of different ways. But at the same time, if you choose to romance him, and if you choose to make him, your partner through the grief festival, you always refer to him, he's also going to be the one who is going to be showing you the most different ways of going through grief, because there's so many different versions of love, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. And honestly, that conversation you have with him near the start when you meet him kind of gives you a brief showcase of what to expect when he asks, when you overhear his conversation with the others, and he shares his views on what true love is.
Yeah. He's a lot of fun to write. I kind of look at him and I go, oh, let me just write mythological Aphrodite, who is flighty, petty, impulsive, a great mom, a horrible mom. She's everything. And I'm always so inspired when I write him because he can take me to so many places I never expected him to.
You see.
Yeah. Sounds
I'm
like
excited.
a fun character. Really.
Yes, and I'm excited to see where he's going to take us as well.
Thank you.
And up next we have Terra, the strong, commanding leader type who rules with both luxury and law. He feels like someone who could both crush you and comfort you at the same time. So how did this duality come to be for him? What can you tell us about him?
Well, he is supposed to represent faith. Faith is very much that. It can both comfort you and crush you. And faith can be a very positive thing or a very oppressive thing. So I had to design a character that can represent both. Whether it's through wealth that he can oppress you, because the moment you see everything that he's capable of simply financially, that is something that is capable of making you feel poor, which is a lot of how peasants tended to feel and medieval churches tended to, dominate finances, be some of the largest landowners in the world. At the same time, if you're a believer, faith is one of those things where you're always going to feel accepted, where you're always going to feel seen and heard. You're always going to be able to find a community. So we also had to represent that through him. And I truly enjoy writing him because, to me, I get to write a buff, awesome, courageous gentleman who isn't exactly a himbo.
Yes.
Because for a very long time, the best place you could send your second son, if you had more than one, was to get educated for free in a church. So he's definitely fun to write, and he's definitely, after Aqua, the boldest with his language and proclamations because he can afford to be. He's faith. Faith has had a lot of power over a lot of years.
And he kind of has a lot of power in a more literal sense.
Yep.
I think all you said comes off very well when you first meet him as well. You said both compassionate but also smothering and maybe a bit oppressive as fate can be. And when he straight up, when you're in the clothes shop and he straight up buys those clothes for you, it's a nice jest, but it can also feel a bit oppressive because it's kind of like financial control. He steps in and does something for you that is a bit too big of a thing to ask from a stranger.
Yeah, and it's also, he does something that he believes is right and correct.
Yes, as
not
fate
really
does.
regarding your opinion, yeah.
And you can't say no to this guy. Like, you just can't.
Yeah, no, it's great because a lot of people are like, yeah, like, that's amazing. I would absolutely let this man pay for it. But you guys are seeing the slightly more alarming side of all of this. So that's fun. And I can't wait for our community to see this podcast and go, uh-oh.
Maybe he's not as perfect.
I mean, none of the characters are perfect, right? They're supposed to be realistic.
No one is
Just
perfect.
remember that when you, like, right before you meet him, you hear him, what's the word for it? Yeah, grow.
Shake the whole room.
Yeah, and talk
I can make him shake the whole room.
Anyways. So he has like a rude manner towards the guy who owns the shop, honestly. And this is what I paid attention on, because, like, okay, you're coming here and you're buying me clothes, but at the same time you're absolutely rude. Like, what's going on?
I think it's demanding, not rude. Like,
well, I find it rude. I don't know. Like, demanding is rude for me. Like, maybe you're the big boss, like he has the big boss energy, but still.
To me, it's more of a case of, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. I'm trying to see how to structure it in a way that is acceptable. When you're a demigod who has superior scent and hearing and vision, you're kind of capable of noticing the slightest of changes in the environment around you, especially when somebody you've never met, scented, heard their way of stepping before has entered a location where you're at. And in specific, he was demanding of the seller because they were denying you, a visitor, service because of him, which is not necessarily something Faith should be doing, right? It's for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true. Okay. Well, don't get me wrong. He was actually one of my choices. Like, I loved him. I loved his boss energy and at the same time teddy bear energy, because I felt like this guy could give great hugs. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So he was the reason, one of the main reasons I was distracted. So I'm not saying bad stuff about Terra. It's just like he's not as cute and huggable as he seems.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was my point. And moving on to the other reason I was distracted, it's more Mortis. The aspect of death. I don't like quiet boys, honestly, but this guy, he got me. He's compassionate and somehow unsettlingly enigmatic, and he's the type who could write you a poem at a funeral. And what emotional tone did you aim for his route, and how did you manage to make him so charming, even though he's a little bit, I don't know, it's not nerdy, but I don't know.
Quiet might be the word.
Yeah, but he doesn't really get to understand how normal human interaction works. Okay, that's how I'm gonna say it.
See, he's our in-character representation of hope. Hope is never loud. Hope is always quiet. Hope is always the thing that dies last. Most of the times, hopefully it doesn't die. Hope is the one thing where even if you don't search for it, it remains in the back of your mind. And when you aim to write a character that represents something so unique, something so gentle, so small, like a wisp of energy that you can always find if you really, really look for it, that is what we aim to do with him. And I am very happy that he's charmed you. He is... Fortunately, no, that's not the correct word. He's, interestingly enough, the most popular character in our community. And when I was looking at him, to me, I wanted a Gomez Adams-esque man.
Okay, I can see that.
Yep. I wanted a man who hasn't had a lot, because hope is never, a big thing. But if you give him a centimeter, he will come a mile for you. Or he will go a mile for you, I believe is the English simile. And a lot of people tend to be able to feel that. He is very attentive. He is very caring. He's very soft-spoken. He is warm, but not in a fireplace way, but more of a candle way. He'll be there when you need him, the way hope is supposed to be. We actually haven't spoken about what they represent as monsters, but Mortis is a Kusith, which we've mentioned here and there, so I'm not saying anything new. But Kusiths tend to be the dogs in Irish mythology, which take people who have passed away to the afterlife, but they also tend to be spirits that if a child is lost in the forest, they're gonna help them out of the forest. So that's kind of what we wanted him to represent as a feeling.
And I find it interesting that you decided to merge the idea of hope and death. Like, here's the aspect of death, and he also represents hope.
Mm-hmm. I kind of knew what the basic world building of elementals or elemental spirits it was, and I wanted it to be when I started making that world. And to me, it felt like the best extra way to add personality to these characters. Because water is constantly running, it's constantly moving. It's never in one place for too long, and you can see that in Aqua. And it's very similar to love. Earth is strong, dependable, stable, the way Terra is. Whereas death tends to come with hope, with new beginnings. Very much, the Hades and Persephone myth. It's a cycle. Death. And hope tends to come at the very end of it with new beginnings. It felt right. It felt gentle and soft, and a way to lessen the burden of grief throughout the whole game.
And honestly, now when I think about it, hope is a thing that can actually make you feel alive even in your darkest hour. And at the same time, if you lose the hope, this is the thing that's gonna make you die in the end.
Yeah.
It's such a nice concept. Wow, okay. Okay, I am totally in love with Mortis right now.
You're so sweet.
I made my choice. It's not Terra.
I made the same choice, by the way. We talked about it.
Nice.
I was like, oh, this is the guy I want. Ever since he protected you from the rain, it's like that feels.
He cares. This guy cares.
That was yeah.
Oh my god, he's so fun because we had to write schedules, like full daily schedules for all of the characters for their day-to-day lives, and his schedule was so entertaining. Like, he literally has so much patrolling that it would be almost impossible for him not to find you.
Also, now that you mention it, so each character has a detailed schedule, and he's the only one that actually feels like he's telling you everything when you're talking to him while you're investigating about his schedule.
He's honest.
Yeah.
Like,
interesting.
He's like, is it your fault? Like, it might be. I don't know. Like, I am connected to that. I was surprised by his answer, honestly. Still, he's such a cute boy. And by the way, I wanted to ask about his design. Why the 4 eyes? Why 4 eyes?
So, 4 in Irish culture is number for luck, for lucky clover. But 4 in Chinese, S, as we pronounce it, is very similar sounding to death in Chinese. So in China and in Asia, specifically in China, hospitals don't have a 4th floor because it's considered bad luck.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
Yeah.
So we aim to have him represent the number 4 in both, death and luck in this case. Because, it's very lucky that he finds you in the rain. It is hope. It is a show of hope. Luck tends to be something that makes you even more hopeful.
You think about everything, Monika, don't you? Like, everything, every
All the
little
details.
detail. Yeah.
But
And
don't
I
we
can
all
see
when
that
we world build?
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
I am more of the player part of the D&D community, and I've never done a campaign. I've never actually made a world by myself, so I don't know the struggles you guys have. I can only enjoy your work. That's about
Well,
it.
we're happy that you enjoy it.
Yeah, true. Like,
the-
I am talking to both of you right now because I've played
Thank you.
Mortis campaigns, and now I'm playing
Nice.
your game, and when I'm talking with you about it, there's so much hidden details that I didn't actually manage to see, that it makes me feel overwhelmed. Like, wow, this girl, like, she likes to read mythology.
Of course I do.
I think that you and Morik, you can talk about these stuff a lot.
Probably, but
Cheers, Mark. We can go out and have a coffee someday.
yeah, it sounds fun actually. So lastly, we have Latimore. I hope I pronounced that correctly. So he's the general who's a bit judgmental, quite prickly, and also very slow to open up. He's
Yeah.
stoic, calculating, and somehow the most grounded of them all. So what's his story really about beneath all that tactical exterior?
I've always found that, and I've lived there for 3 years, but I've always found that death in Asia is more accepted than death in the West. For them, yin and yang, balance is a natural thing. Life and death are balanced things. So being able to explore a slightly more level-headed view on grief is, and like the Asian view of grief, is something that I wanted to do through him. His personality, on the other hand, he's the first character that I'd had prepared before we even started working on Spell Candle. I actually didn't know he was going to be included in the game because I started the world building through the Ares Empire, and he was just a character from there. But you get this character in the ruling class who is used to being very secretive, used to being very domineering, used to being very careful with politics, and not very used to being questioned. And
Great combination.
Yep. But, you know, you can sense that there is... He's very much, you know, that the study of Asian workaholicism in a character, you know.
Yes.
I'm here for work, I'm gonna do work, then I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna go chill, you know. And I'm gonna do the work for my community. And he's a lot of fun to write because he's a little peek into the biggest empire of the Spell Candle world / universe. But he's also very important for helping shape the background of the main character, the player character, which is something I enjoy. You can tell through the writing that this is not your usual boss. Journalists don't fall under the Lord of Assassins. They have nothing to do with each other, but you're sent on a political mission with him nonetheless, and he finds your behavior as a main character, your panic attacks, your nerves, your interesting ways of reacting to his actions, untypical. And he has you as unfigured out as you have him. So it's a lot of fun to write a character that has to carefully verbally spar with their boss without getting in trouble all the time. But also, you know, try not to feel like they're gonna get murdered.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it comes out very well. I feel like I'm how would it be in English? Trying to step between the glass when I'm talking to him, like, oh, the wrong move, and he might actually decapitate me. And I try to be careful when asking him questions.
Has he... I'm very curious, actually. Has he given you any reason to believe that he's gonna decapitate you within his own actions? Or is it just within the head of the MC for some reason?
I don't think, because I am a player and for a meta reason, I know that he won't kill me, because that won't make for a good... it might actually make for a pretty good exchange.
You don't know.
I don't know. But I think she fears that she might get killed by him, or the MC.
Yeah, which I think should tell you enough about what environment they work on a daily basis.
Yeah, I got the idea. It's a much more strict place than with the elves. I really love the little note she makes when writing the papers, her documentation, not papers, about constantly comparing the two and making it sound like this place she is now visiting is wild and chaotic and lacks the order of
Yep.
Ares.
Absolutely.
what I wanted to say about Latimore, that in maybe a different universe, he would be my choice of love interests. But in this case, like, actually, Morg was surprised because we usually talk after we test a certain demo, and he was like, and you didn't choose Latimore. This is not your typical stuff. Why? I was like, he was too much of a prick, and he was rude, but the wrong type of rude. You know, like, more rude, no tease.
Well, yeah, he's your boss, so he shouldn't exactly be flirting with you.
Yeah, but I'm not used to that.
Yeah, no.
What is
this? He's a lot of fun because very often, especially when he's smirking, you know he's being an ass. But you also, at some point internally, because I know some of the other players relate to this, because that was the aim when I write it, you're like, I want to throw a pillow at the screen. I want to, like, strangle this man. What a frustrating character. I would hate for him to be, you know, my boss in full time. He's a lot of fun to write because I know I'm writing him well when I want to throw something at the screen.
Yep. You managed to frustrate me
Thank God.
well with him. So you did a good job there.
Wait till he frustrates you in an entirely different way. We'll get there at some point.
I am interested. So, yeah, Latimore, the pretty boy. Okay, so my next question is, again, about the processing grief, love, and survival in the game. So what kind of narrative are you aiming for with the relationships in Spell Candle?
So obviously they are your love interests, but they're also supposed to be, you know, your quasi-therapists, your quasi-diary boyfriends, the people who are going to be with you when you're going through a hard time, the people that, you know, you can share your worries about your, you know, choose your trauma option with. The whole idea of Spell Candle to me was, you know, you've lost somebody relatively recently. You know that you are still suffering from it in some way, shape, or form. So you want to make yourself a cup of tea, wrap yourself in a blanket, sit in front of your PC, put your headphones on, interact with these characters and just cry it out or understand why you feel the way you feel, or even, you know, make choices that people within your life, like parents, have made, so you can kind of better understand why they made those choices. And they're going to be your not even your guides, more just the people that you get to share with. Are they gonna end up your boyfriends? That's entirely up to you, but I know that I will absolutely guarantee a kiss per character at the very least if you reach max affection based on your choices with them. No NSFW scenes, but you know, we haven't strayed from insinuations in the game.
Fade to black.
Yeah, basically.
And can I romance two people at the same time in your game? Or
no, alas.
Like, does it lock me? It locks me in or out in the end, right?
Oh, you can absolutely you can attempt to romance two characters at the same time. Let's say for day one, you choose to do fire dancing with Aqua. But for day two, choose to do that designated event that I can't think of the name of right now with Terra. You're going to gain affection for both. You might even end up kissing both if you reach max affection with both. But in the end of the game, you're going to get to pick one of them and who, you know, you think the culprit is going to also significantly affect your, you know, romance option.
And I think it's time we move on to the music and art. So
Yeah, sure.
The visuals are absolutely beautiful. We mentioned it earlier, but I want to talk more about it. What were the visual inspirations behind Spell Candle's aesthetic? Was it, as you said, just you really liked the artist's work and wanted them to do it in their own style, or did you have something other in mind?
So our artist is an artist who loves Castlevania and Hades, the show and the game, and I love Castlevania.
I
and
see the
Hades.
inspiration. I very
I
much see it.
watched Castlevania till 2 a.m. last night.
It's a weird way to
I'm
pronounce it.
dropping this. I am dropping this. I have 2 seasons more to finish it, but it's amazing. It's an
I don't know,
amazing
man. Something about Trevor, just makes me very happy.
He's like
There
a
I-
dog, like a golden retriever energy.
More
Not golden,
no,
German
not
Shepherd.
definitely
Probably
German
German
Shepherd.
Shepherd. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Trevor of Belmont, the man that you are. But yeah, our lovely artist, Dusty, they love that art style, and I love that art style.
It's a great art.
And, we started with developing an art Bible. And that was very much based around Hades and Castlevania as a mix of style. And then we also really, really liked... we were looking at, like, a visual novel to learn from. And obviously, we looked at the most popular ones, and the entire team... I was first, but the entire team fell in love with Touch Starved. Which someday I will meet those developers and I will tell them that I love what they've done. And that is the only game that I have promised myself that I am taking 2 days off of work for in order to play when it comes out. So excited for it. So the art style kind of shaped around that, I suppose. Just the art Bible of Hades and Castlevania and Touch Starved.
I am dropping another recommendation here. Since you like that type of art style, please try Lost in Limbo. They had a Kickstarter as well.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a story about afterlife and gods as well.
Nice.
So I think you're going to like it. It's one of my favorite visual novels that I've ever played. It was actually one of my first visual novels as well, but it's so good. And I am waiting for the full release there and very excited for that. Like, it's not as big as Touch Starved is, but still very, very nice.
Lover's Lines, I don't think you understand. My community not physically, but, emotionally bullied me about the fact that I haven't played Lost in Limbo yet.
Okay.
Well, so I understand.
Okay, so no need to recommend it.
Except this is a sign, I guess.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
From the universe.
Yeah.
So, we already talked about the art quite a bit, and I do agree that it's amazing. And now when you said it, it really reminds me of the Hades art as well. Like,
Yep.
so good job to your artist.
Yep.
Great.
Thank you, Dusty,
great
and
artist.
our environment artist, who I shall not name because he does not wish to be named. But yes.
Okay, that's fine. But both of you did great. Just maybe it means nothing from my mouth, but I am a fan. So I am moving on to the music because I believe it deserves a shout out. So you got Zakhariev from Big Bite Records, and of course Maria Anastasova, the famous voice from Baldur's Gate 3. So Maria is a personal friend of mine. Thank you, Maria, for giving me the contact of Monika. That was so nice. And of course, Ivala was magical harp and the whole mix.
Yeah.
So what are the plans for the musical future of the game? The score of Spell Candle promises to be very impressive.
Thank you. That's very kind. Let me preface this by saying that this was Zach's first time, and I'm going to refer to him by his first name because we're very close friends at this point. We go to events together. He represents Big Bite Records. I represent Bottle Monster Inc. We went to Gamescom together this year. So yeah, Zach's awesome. It was Zach's first time working on a project this big. And I don't say, big financially because you've seen our Kickstarter. I mean, big as like an amount of time where the music's going to have to play. Building a soundtrack on your own is not a small thing. But he took it on the chin, worked really hard, and throughout the whole soundtrack of the first 10 songs, which is what we have in the game right now, you can see and hear how much he's progressed in his development. We met the Varia duet, Mara and Ivala, at some point, I believe, through some mutual friends or TDB play, I think. And we kind of fell in love with their voices. Well, with Mara's voice and Ivala's harp. And, I'm also a very big fan of Baldur's Gate 3. So knowing that Mara sang there was like, oh my God, I really, really want to work with this person. So Zach and I were like, we really want to do music with you guys. You guys are going to add so much to it. And they were like, yeah, sure. So starting hopefully January, February, March, we're going to do recordings of several songs with them. We need to specifically compose songs for them in order to bring out their strengths, see which characters they should go towards, which narratives they're going to help us with, and work on adding those into the game, while also remixing some of the older songs that have, Zach simply improved upon a lot in the last 1 year, so he can make them better.
My comment on the music and on the whole, engineering, the musical engineering of the game, is that it felt very immersive. Like, I played with my headphones on, and I paid attention on how the sound moved from left to right. And I was like, oh, okay, this is cute. The guy who did that, he knows what he's doing. Even though it's his first project, I can see that he knows what he's doing. And I believe that from now on, it's only upwards. Like, it's going to be great. And when you have Vera in the mix, it's going to be amazing.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Like, I was a bit starstruck when I realized that Mara is singing in Baldur's Gate, because she was a friend of mine before that.
Yeah.
And then I played the game, like, listening to the intro song, like, I know this voice.
Sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Sounds familiar. And then, like, I saw all the media, and I was like, oh, wow, okay, I am starstruck. So, they're both very talented. Like, Mara and Ivala.
And we're so excited to get to work with them.
We will see. We will see how it will unfold, this whole thing.
It's going to be awesome.
Honestly, it's quite huge for a debut studio. Speaking of which, Bottled Monster Inc. is still very young, right? Tell us a bit about your team. What has it been leading such a passionate emerging group?
God, it's been surprisingly easy, to be honest. They're all amazing people. They all mesh so well together. Their personalities are phenomenal. They're loyal. They're hardworking. They're willing to put in the hours. And I could not be more blessed. I'm a firm believer that if you really, 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 really want something, at some point, and you keep working towards it, at some point when you reach, the epicenter of change, that door is going to open for you very easily. And I literally got lucky enough to gather my team in just maybe a month. And then
that is quite quick.
Yeah, everything just happened very suddenly. I decided I wanted it. I decided I knew who I wanted to work with. I literally called our environment artist and was like, hey, I saw your portfolio and I really like it. Can we go out to dinner because I want to make a video game with you? And he was like, well, I'm currently in Plovdiv. But I'm going to be in Sofia tonight. Shall we have dinner tonight? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. Let's fucking go. And we literally shook hands on that table then that we're working on this game project together. So it really happened really fast. And I aim to make it my job that their life is very easy. I know exactly what I want. I know exactly how I want it. I've literally planned the next 1 year until release. Everybody's schedules are down on paper and they know them, so they can plan their workloads around Christmas, around summer holidays. Everything is there. And if something is not as they like, we reschedule. Like, we move stuff around. We know that some weeks everybody's going to be, working on their full-time jobs and they're going to have way too much to do, or they're going to be traveling. But, you have to make up for it in the next 2 weeks. I don't baby them. They're intelligent adults, and when they take up responsibility, they tend to follow through, and it's making life as a leader very easy.
That sounds
the way you communicate this whole thing, like, I am tearing up. This sounds like a dream. This is amazing. Like, you must be an amazing person to work with. I wish you all the best.
Mainly because
Oh.
I'm very envious right now. I would really love to have something that organized with my life.
I tend to be known for being a control freak, but in
There's
a
a
sense
little bit of a tone to that when you talk honestly. Like, I'm not surprised.
yeah, I get told a lot that I'm pragmatic and a robot, and sometimes even heartless. But which is why we joke about me being a vampire. Within the team in the industry. But I think that my team itself knows that, well, we're very good at communicating with one another. And they know that I love them, and I have absolutely no fear of telling them that I love them and mentioning that publicly. I think they're incredible people. They've grown to be more of a family than just, workers. I very much admire Sven Vinke and Larian and the way he loves and appreciates everybody in his team, and I try to learn from that and reflect that with my team. And
Yeah, it's
I
very
think
important.
they see it. Yeah.
It's very important to have like how to say it, way of a personal touch.
Yeah.
And to have a soul. Because
Yeah.
lately, a lot of people don't have any soul. And this goes to the game industry as well. All of these AAA games, they don't have a soul. All of these companies, they're soulless. They're selling their soul to the devil and they're making bullshit. That's why I prefer indie games. And Baldur's Gate is 1 in a million game that with big budget, like with a very long development time and everything. Like we consider Larian a AAA at this point, but still they have a soul, and the whole project has a soul, and that's why I played the game and I paid for it and I cried in the end.
Yeah. Same.
So yeah, very, very beautiful story. I think that you guys have a great future. When
Thank
you're
you. I
doing
hope so.
things with love, the universe will give you back, I am sure.
I really hope so. Right now we're doing it as a passion project. Hopefully at some point in the future we'll be able to do it as a business, but for now it's very much about, respecting, and it's always going to be really about respecting and growing a community that wants to support us and that believes in our project, and we need to keep showing up every day and proving to them that we can create a project worth their support and worth their money.
Yep. Actually having a community is one of the most important parts, like to keep showing up and to ensure the people who support you that you're there. Like, I am here, I am working, your money, we are using them on the project, don't worry, everything is fine.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. We actually get, I had not a bunch, but I had a couple of investors pop up after a successful Kickstarter, and they were like, hey, you should make Spell Candle, an eternal game with, constant updates, that people can pay microtransactions for, or get a, how do you say it in English, abonnement?
Subscription.
A subscription for, yeah, sorry, I spaced. And I was like, yeah, but that's kind of not what we're for. That's kind of not what we want to do to our community. We're making a PC game. We're not making a mobile game. And even if we made a mobile version of Spell Candle, it would not be a subscription game or one that has, millions of microtransactions. We're not here to squeeze our community. And they were so confused about that, especially when I explained to them that hopefully Spell Candle does well and we'll have a second game from the same IP, and the community is going to hopefully love that and follow through on that. And they were like, no, but how would that work? When they click off of, shouldn't everything be in one place for, ease of use? So that when they click off of one thing, because when you click off of one thing, they're not going to necessarily click on the second thing. I was like, yeah, but, it's about trust and respect and, having a community that is going to believe in what you do. If they like the first game, they're hopefully going to like the second game. That's how it works.
Okay, so your Kickstarter was quite successful. Could you walk us through the experience you had setting it up and running it?
Oh, it was absolutely insane, for one, because you usually can't have a Kickstarter located in Bulgaria. You can't physically be a founder of one. We had to find a way to make a company in another country, get a bank account there, That was a very interesting process, but we managed to get that done. We now have a US-based Spell Candle branch, which is awesome. Bottled Monster Inc., rather. So the first steps were simply, business and administration. Afterwards, I would say just having conversations with people who have either funded or failed funding a Kickstarter was crucial. I also had a very, very helpful conversation with a lady who used to work at Kickstarter. The owner, one of the founders of Imperia Online, which is a very big Bulgarian gaming company, was kind enough to give me that contact. So I had a meeting with her. I discussed a bunch of stuff with her. Some of the stuff, I took some of the advice, didn't take all of that advice. Perhaps that was to my detriment. But I knew that we were not going to have an easy time making a Kickstarter located in Bulgaria with LGBTQ themes when, we have a not particularly LGBTQ loving president in the West. You haven't had a project funded before when you were just starting your community, just building up your IP. I knew it wasn't going to be easy. I was lucky enough to have already developed and failed a Kickstarter myself through my full-time job about tarot cards, interestingly enough.
Oh, so had some experience before.
I am very interested in that. You should send me a link.
Sure. It was a Slavic Oracle deck that we failed funding because you need to have your Kickstarter page up as soon as possible so people can, wishlist it as soon as possible. And then it was a lot of communication with different different creators. And I was lucky enough to find, I believe there was a single day where I sent 150 emails to different creators. And then I was lucky enough to meet Charlie from Streamers Connected, who I met with her at Gamescom, and I explained to her my proposition, what I want to do with Spell Candle, and she was like, yeah, absolutely, we work with indie studios, we can help you. And a good marketing partner is very difficult to find, I would say. I don't know what you guys' experience has been in Bulgaria. But,
we are one-man army. We're our marketing, our content, everything, so... Yeah,
we are the marketing.
We are the marketing.
Guys, you don't understand. I feel like those people did not sleep. It was absolutely incredible what they did. How much they were willing to invest as, time and resources. For my Kickstarter, I really owe quite a bit of my success to them. Other than that, I owe, maybe the rest of my success to our community and to the team behind Bottled Monster Inc., behind Spell Candle. And yeah, when you reach 20% in the first 48 hours, you can kind of breathe easy, sort of. Not really. Ideally, you would fund the Kickstarter within the first 48 hours. No, it was very much a learning experience. It's difficult to answer, but I learned a lot, and maybe if I had put it down on paper beforehand, I would be able to give you guys a straighter and more specific and more structured answer.
We don't need the structured answer. We need the emotional one, and we got it. That's fine. So what's the plan now? How is the development going?
Development super fucking exciting. Oh gosh, excuse my language. Development is super exciting.
Okay.
As I said, I've scheduled everybody's jobs for the next year. I have a lot to do on my part. Writing, interviews for a second developer to help out, potentially an artist to help out with marketing art for TikToks and Instagram, because I want to take that load off of our character artists, because they're going to have a whole lot of jobs to do. Working through the OCs for the Diva Bundle and God Bundle Kickstarter backers, because they are scheduled into our schedules. They're placed into our schedules, rather. I have quite a bit of writing left to do, but moving the project along, getting NDAs out to all our backers for early access, getting in touch with all of the higher tier backers that are going to have their OCs in the game or have their OCs sketched. Making sure marketing happens, joining as many festivals as possible so we can keep getting the game out there to people who haven't seen it before. And overall, just, continue giving back to this amazing community that we've developed.
Yep, you have a very complete and elaborate plan. I love that.
And since we're all eager, when can players expect the full release for Spell Candle?
We're aiming for end of December 2026, probably January, February 2027.
Okay. That's a reasonable...
Almost exactly a year.
Almost
from
yeah.
now
a bit
on.
more.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll see each other again here when you have your full release and talk about everything. I'm gonna be very excited when that happens. And also my birthday is during January, so I don't know, keep in mind, like, this is gonna be a very nice birthday present if you manage
we'll keep that in mind.
to get it out. I'm joking. So I'm moving on to the community and impact section of our interview. So you've built such a supportive community on Discord. We already talked about that. And by the way, your server is very well organized. Now I can see that you have a keen eye on organizing stuff and everything. So it's not a shock that your Discord channel is so organized, but I've never seen something like that. Wow.
Thank you.
But aside from that, I want to ask you, what's one piece of player feedback that really stayed with you?
Ooh. Interesting. The brass on Latimore's intro is too loud. So you might not have experienced that, but in early access testing, whenever Latimore's CG would come on and you would meet him, the brass was so loud that people would take off their headphones or straight up mute their game. Yep. And I had that happen live on stage while people were testing the game for me at a TDB Play event, which was not the most pleasant thing, but it was experience that I got to bring back to Zach from Big Bite and be like, yo, we need to tone this down.
To level this,
yeah. Sure, absolutely. I'm kind of excited for having him remix the game and use everything he's learned over the last year and a half to keep developing the soundtrack and make the original 10 songs even better.
Okay. That sounds like a bit the on-stage giant sound a bit awkward, but things like that happen sometimes.
It's the risks of the profession. It's fine.
Yeah. I've also had criticisms about the MC not being nuanced enough and feeling very cookie cutter, which is the opposite of what you guys have told me. So I guess I've managed to fine-tune them a little bit, which is great.
I honestly wouldn't call the MC cookie cutter at all.
No, like they have a personality, for me at least. Like, you have a lot of options to choose from, but you still have the backstory that helps.
Yeah.
So thanks.
So, you've said before that Spell Candle isn't meant to diagnose grief, but to help people understand it. So, how do you hope players will feel after finishing the full game when it's out?
I hope that our players understand the way they feel better, or understand why other people made certain actions after they've lost a loved one better. I hope that I've created shoes that any person can step into.
Okay, sounds great.
Yes.
So after Spell Candle, what's next for Bottle Monster Inc.? Any plans you can hint at for the studio's future? I mean, like, maybe it's far away in the future, but I just wondered, are you going to keep doing visual novels, or are you gonna move on doing something different?
So that largely depends on the business side of things, for one. I have various discussions with different people within the industry, and some people are saying that the visual novel, the reading mediums as a whole, are dying and being replaced with videos and animations. And some part I would agree with that, and some part I won't. Visual novels bring me joy. I believe in them, and I believe that if you build a community that loves those things and you give them a good product and they feel respected and interested enough in the story that you're going to tell, they're going to keep playing your games no matter what genre they are. With that in mind, we would love to keep making visual novels, but we would love to keep making visual novels. And I also have quite a few ideas on how to innovate upon the model and make it more universally interesting. For that, I would need a larger budget. But for now, I just want for us to finish this video game, show that we can make a video game, learn from it, and then at first keep making visual novels, iterating on that skeleton that we're currently developing within our first visual novel. Make it better, more engaging, more interesting, more unique, and then maybe move into a different genre. For now, the correct answer would be we will keep making visual novels. I think forever we'll keep making visual novels, hopefully. They bring us a lot of joy. But for where we'll go, I've specifically spoken with our team, and I've promised them that I will make a full world map of the Spellcandle universe. Each of them has a specific mental health issue and a very specific subgenre of visual novel games. Some of them might be horror. Some of them might be military. There's a lot of different directions where we can go at, and I would specifically just let them pick what they want to make. I want them to be interested. I want them to be motivated. And personally, as the writer and narrative designer and, the leader of the team, I think I will personally find joy in creating anything they pick.
So you'd like to stay in the same world?
Yeah.
Makes sense. You've already world built all of this. There's so much potential for the future.
Yeah.
And I'm moving on to my favorite part. It's not my favorite part. Why do I keep saying that? My favorite part is the whole part. Yeah, it's a habit. So we are moving to the exclusive content part. So you sent us the sprite of Rhea. Can you tell us a little bit about Rhea? Is it Rhea?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You're good.
Rhea as a name, like a Bulgarian name, is one of my favorite names, like female names. And I read it like that and I was like, oh, nice. But Rhea sounds good, like a ray of sunshine.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Rhea's friggin' awesome. We kind of got inspired a lot from the fact that the first elf that you meet in-game, when you get off the carriage to check your documents, we personally got inspired very much by the description of seeing an elf for the first time. And there was a lot of people who, based on the other romance love interests, said, so an elf has animalistic features or monstrous features. No, it doesn't. An elf has, the knife ears that are traditional for elves, with a mix of the different colorings that are unique to the elements which the elven subrace they're from is based on.
In their case, it's Terra, right? So it's green, or I get it wrong.
Earthen colors.
Yeah, earthen colors, earthen shades. Yeah. And for her in specific, at first we wanted to make a character based on Mercury, like that metal, because the earth isn't, just the beautiful different colors of soil. It's also all the precious metals. It's all of the semi-precious gems. It's all of the gems. So you can do a lot with earth. And then we kind of, as we were going through the character creation process with Dusty, our artist, the more we developed Rhea, I was like, Mercury would be too complex of a personality to put into a character based on what Mercury is as a metal.
Mm-hmm.
So why not make her silver? We already have gold in a character anyways, in Terra. Why not make her silver? I feel like that would be a very interesting character to write and develop based on, all the symbolism of silver in the past, silver's relationship with gold, the mere fact that, that's a feminine character who is the second in command to, a very dominant yet warm male character. So she felt like the funnest muscle mommy, but also kind of softy when she, when you catch her at an inopportune moment kind of character to write. Because silver, while a pure metal, is also malleable at the end of the day. So you can do a lot with it, and it was going to be a lot of fun to write furthermore, because you would be guaranteed from the very beginning of playing her as a love interest that she is not the villain. So you would have...
She'd be the only one that's guaranteed to not be.
Yeah. So it would have been a lot of fun to, give the player suddenly a safety net of a character who 100% is trying to solve the mystery with you, which would completely change the way you write the narrative and the perspective of the character, mind you. So I was very excited to potentially do that. But, maybe we'll... It's not a maybe. Well, hopefully... It's not a hopefully. We'll add a female romance character probably in the second game. It's not a probably.
Okay, so we'll have Rhea in the second Spell Candle game. Is that a promise?
No, maybe not Rhea. But, another character.
But she's so cute. Her character design is so nice.
Yeah, but if she doesn't fit in the story because she's from this place, there is no way to put her in there.
But we can have her as a cameo at least. I don't know.
Yeah, she can be an NPC. We'll have to discuss that with Dusty and see how much of their already fully booked next year is going to allow for expressions and poses of this lovely character.
Thank you for sharing this with us. Everything sounds so exciting, even though you didn't manage to fund the female love interests. Still, the future is in front of us, and your project is very exciting, so we'll see how it unfolds in the end.
Thank you so much.
Before we say goodbye, Monika, do you have any final words for our listeners? And your fans, of course, who are going to listen to this podcast.
Thank you so much, first of all, for having me on this podcast. Thank you to the listeners. I hope that we were entertaining and we gave you a little bit of insight into what happens within Bottled Monster Inc. and behind Spell Candle. Thank you very much to our community for helping fund Spell Candle, for loving Spell Candle, for constantly interacting with it. I would say that hopefully your listeners are just as excited as we are to put Spell Candle in their hands.
This has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us, Monika.
It's been lovely, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
And to all listeners, you can play the Spell Candle demo right now on Steam. Follow Bottled Monster Inc. for updates and join their very well-organized Discord channel. And maybe light your own candle for a little magic in your life.
You've been listening to Lover's Lens and Morik on the Otome Games podcast.
Until next time, and may your choices lead you to love, or at least a really good ending.